With Battlefront 2 approaching release, as well as Star Wars Episode 8 The Last Jedi, new information is being revealed about both installments in the Star Wars saga. Recently, some of the hero abilities were leaked online, which gave us an interesting look into a new Force ability Luke may have acquired shortly after Return of the Jedi. Since Battlefront 2 will be canon, and will detail the events immediately following Return of the Jedi, this time from the Empire's point of view, and will feature Luke throughout the story, the new ability will be considered as canon. This gives us some better indication on how Luke's power will have increased after defeating his father and the Emperor above Endor. Also in the game, the abilities of other characters are also based on their canon displays, such as Kylo Ren using what's being referred to as Force Freeze, and Darth Vader, of course, using Force Choke. Just like in the first Battlefront game, Luke will have the ability of Force Rush, as well as Force Push, but it is this third ability that is extremely interesting and could point to his progression as a Jedi Knight. This mysterious third ability is called Force Repulse. Force Repulse is actually a power we have seen several times in Legends continuity, with Darksiders such as Starkiller and Darth Malgus both being practiced hands with the ability. In Legends, Force Repulse is when one gathered their energies in the Force inward and then propelled them outward as quickly and violently as possible. The attack was meant to create space, and in some cases thrash subjects about. Those that utilized the ability with the dark side most often incorporated Force Lightning and energy-based attacks into their repulse, and their enemies would be torn apart because of it. The most skilled users of the ability were able to disintegrate their subjects using the Force, while those less gifted with energy-based attacks would rather gorily rip their enemies apart. Light side users also used a variation of Force Repulse, only with the absence of energy-based attacks, and often using it more to create a gap than actually kill their opponents. In Legends continuity, the most noted Jedi to use this ability was Mace Windu. In canon, we actually got to see a display similar to this description, with Savage Opress using it against droids, but based on the description of the power for Luke though, which resides in canon as well, the ability does have several important variations and differences. This is what the description of the ability says for Luke. Luke sends a burst of force energy out from the ground, dealing damage to any enemies nearby. Based off of this description, it sounds as if Luke uses the ability quite differently than is described in Legends, but it is still an impressive show, and also a power we have never seen utilized before in canon. It will be more interesting after we finally get a look at what this ability actually looks like in the game, and we'll have a better idea of it then, but this is still highly intriguing, as this is a new power that Luke developed just after Return of the Jedi. This gives us a great idea and a look that his power must be quite insane at the time we find him in The Last Jedi, as he has had close to 30 years to practice his powers and gain a deeper understanding of the Force, with this power only being just the beginning. Some have even speculated that we could actually see Luke use this version of Force Repulse in The Last Jedi, since it is featured in the game. However, I tend to take it more as a sign that he is growing more powerful than anything else, although he very well could use the ability in The Last Jedi. It is always very important to keep an eye on Battlefront 2, especially since we are now aware it will detail some canon stories about Luke Skywalker. Luke is so intriguing because he has become one of the most mysterious characters in the canon, whose power we really have no clue about. Every little detail is so important to gather because Luke very likely will be insanely powerful, and there are breadcrumbs being left. And the fact that he developed this just following Return of the Jedi is very impressive, and leads to more questions like what else has he developed? What new mysterious Force abilities does Luke Skywalker possess that we have never even seen before? But I would love to hear what you have to think. What are your thoughts on Luke Skywalker's new Force power and ability, and the fact that he attained a new power just after Return of the Jedi that we have never seen before? Do you think that there's a possibility Luke may use this power in The Last Jedi, or do you take it more as a progression of his power like I do? And as a big question for this video, what abilities would you like to see Luke Skywalker use in The Last Jedi, and how powerful do you think Luke has become after Return of the Jedi? If you can't get enough Star Wars, I recently released a new podcast where we address all the news revolving around the franchise, as well as debates and speculation about the series. The link to the most recent episode will be in the description down below if you'd like to check it out. If you would like to join me in the daily Star Wars discussion and debates, follow me on Twitter at Stupendous Wave. Link will be in the description. If you enjoyed this video and feel it deserves it, it would really help me out if you could leave a like. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the YouTube channel to keep up to date with everything Star Wars related, from news, explanations, and theories from a galaxy far, far away. If you have any video topics you would like to see addressed in a future video, do not hesitate to leave them in the comments below the video, or again, tweet them at me. As always, your viewership and support means the world. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.